Yo, what up, Fight World? Your boy Ego. Another beautiful day. Good morning, good morning. This is the Wake Up Show. This is DJ Easy on the station that slaps you across the motherfucking head. What up? We feeling good, new media. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Richmond, Virginia in the building. Detroit, it's cold in the D. Shout out to Newark, Jersey in this motherfucker. DC, city, state, zip. Shout out to Army, man. Shout out to the Army. We got some stuff to talk about. Got my Starbucks coffee. Good morning to everybody. Got my little Jers in the building. Shout out to Brick City, man. Old media throwing up bricks. Like they throwing up bricks. And we just making hits. Fuck it. Oh, let me turn this off. Ohio in this gang. We got to talk about the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. I'm so frustrated. What up, cuz? Shout out to Ego the Head, HNIC. We in it. Tiger Hood, I like that. Tulsa, Oklahoma in the building. Hey, I'm about to turn up on these boys, man. I just been learning, studying. Periodically, I like to learn, man. Everybody should invest in knowledge, honing your skill, learning something new. You shouldn't go really a week without testing your brain. That's why I get crossword puzzles and shit. I buy crossword puzzles just to exercise that brain, read, hone my skill, develop. And I've been developing like a motherfucker, so it's about to be a problem. Feeling good, feeling great. Shout out to Westside, Brick City. I saw your cameo on All Access, Ego. You national now, homie. Salute to the Army. That's why I don't give a fuck when, old media be trolling and shit. Motherfucker, I'm on TV. Fuck what you talking about? They know me. Oh, you teaching. Yeah, man, we gonna teach. I'll be like Aretha Franklin teaching respect. They don't want to show Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder no respect. But they ain't got no chance. Shout out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 35401 in the building. Home of the Bronze Bomber. We so frustrated. And frustrated. Fuck it. Let's just jump into it. More people will come when they come. It don't matter. The message still getting out. We doing numbers. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I sold 5 mil. I ain't rapping like common sense. I ain't been rapping like common sense. Deontay Wilder, he's the man of the hour in the heavyweight division. You see the pendulum swinging. You see the momentum shifting. All the hate, all the venom, all the vitriol, all the hate, all the slanders, smear campaigns that they used against this man, this black man who represents the people, who represents this beautiful nation called America, the U.S. of A., United States of America. God damn it. They tried every tactic in the book to hold him down, to oppress him, to shame him, to make people believe that no one knew who he was, that he was irrelevant, that he was bum squad, that he ain't fought nobody. And through it all, they failed. And guess who won? Deontay Wilder won. Wilder's family won. Al Heyman won. New media won. Pensacola, we talk tonight. All this shit that they've been saying, and we're going to go over some of this shit, has been proven time. You see, I put my Lokes on. Real California shit. These are real Lokes. I had to put them Lokes on. So you know I'm about to go loco. I'm destroying old media. Everything you love, everything old media stood for, the whole establishment, old media channels, we destroying them. That's why what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I'm destroying them. I'm destroying them. I fucked his wife. I'm fucking them in the game. I'm destroying them. You guys see it each and every day, little by little. They zapped. They have no energy. They have no signs of life. The shit they have been saying has been proven over and over again to not be pure, to not be a message that really resonates because it holds no weight, especially over long periods of time. It's bullshit. 1919 to 2019, nothing changes except for they less upfront about it. Facts. And a lot of people ride with it. We putting our foot down. We new media, I promise you, for everybody that was told that they couldn't do it, that they couldn't make it, they didn't have the right voice, they didn't have the right look, they didn't go to college, anybody who's ever been knocked down, anybody who's considered an underdog, somebody who hasn't been because of your race, your ethnicity, your gender, your height, your size, whatever the situation is, you now have a voice. That voice is new media. And we got our chest popped out. We got our chest poked out. We represent. We represented for all the underdogs, all the people who don't get fair treatment. I told you. The funny thing is they don't want to give certain fighters credit, but they want them to fight this menacing schedule. And even if they do fight the menacing schedule, they still don't get credit. Like you look at this weak ass, trash ass ESPN pound for pound list, they still got Lomachenko #1. They don't even have Wilder in the top 10, yet they're quick to put Nayo Inoue, with 16 fights. He's a beast, but he got 16 fights. That's the reality. And he's in them little sperm weight divisions and stuff. Wilder, whether you like his technique or think he's technically flawed or not, he's still fought 41 or so people, and he's undefeated at heavyweight, where one punch can definitely change everything. And most recently, his resume, he's been fighting killers like, Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, both undefeated. Dominic Breazeale only lost to then champion, still champion Anthony Joshua. Bro, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy how they try to do. They'll put everybody else on the list. But like I said, here's another thing. Like let's say Juan Francisco Estrada, he's a good fighter. He lost to Chocolatito, close fight. Lost to Sor Rungvisai, close fight. So that's at least 2 losses. They quick to put him on the back of the pound for pound list. Notice how they put him in the back. The black and brown put him in the back, right? Put him in the back of the list. Wilder got 4 times the fights. He's set history in terms of the title defenses he has. See, listen, here's the thing. If it was so easy to get 41-0 at heavyweight, then why did he have his belt? His first title defense, he lost it. Joseph Parker was a champion, and he's already not a champion, and he's already taken 2 losses since then. So if it was so easy at heavyweight to just fight whoever and maintain your belt, then why doesn't everyone do it? But they don't want to give credit for that. Shout out to DOG, £2 super chat. Salute to you, Ego. Keep grinding, and thanks, bro. Oh yeah, Ronald Finkley hit me up. Wilder ran up on that boy like he was swinging for the high score on the punch machine. That shit was bro. And the thing is, I was there. People don't let old media fool you with the bullshit that they play. See, you got a lot of people who I'm everywhere. You ain't never there. Like Jay said, I'm at the fight. I went there. I was there. You got motherfuckers who watched it on TV who ain't never probably even been to no fight, and they sitting up here talking about how the crowd was. This is what we're dealing with in this current modern society, where you could have somebody who, I ain't got no reason to lie. I have a successful channel, bills paid, life is cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what the energy was like at the Barclays. You can go to whatever YouTube channel you want, but when you seen me there for 5-6 days, seen me talking to Wilder, seen me at the weigh-in, seen me in the hotel in Brooklyn, and you could believe what you want. Believe the person who was actually there and witnessed it, or a motherfucker who's been hating on Wilder who ain't there ever, ain't at any of the spots. The choice is yours, because motherfuckers, oh yeah, the crowd, it only did 13,000. Oh, who cares? That was a lame crowd. All right, bro. So you weren't there and I was there, but you trying to tell me what the crowd was. It's funny. It's funny. This is what the game is, Just because you got a YouTube, and listen, I'm not knocking anyone who got a YouTube. I started off humble beginnings too. I started at 0 subscribers like everybody else. we hustled our way, bullied our way into this game, but I also show respect, on my way up, and still to this day, still show respect. That's why I get respect when I go places. That's why you see me on Showtime. Keep it pushing, work hard, fuck with my immediate circle, family, friends, keep it moving. Bay Area shit. We always get in where we fit in. These other motherfuckers, like, they be, you can't start no hate channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the way to come in the game from what I've seen, where you just coming in and hating. You can do it, and you think you get somewhere from views. But, half these dudes wouldn't be the same person if they even seen Wilder. So it's like, what's the basis? Oh, yeah, Wilder's a bitch. And so, all right. But when I'm right next to Wilder, I don't see these dudes pull up. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them, like, talking with that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Just stupid shit. And haters notice they only crowd watch to PBC fighters. Yeah, and they also do like the mismatch, and it's to PBC fight. You notice that? I'm glad you brought that up. Like, for example, Caleb Smith is fighting fucking Hassan Indam on Joshua card. Caleb Smith is a champion, right? He's a super middleweight champion. Eddie Hearns is big promoter, and he has him fighting a guy who's not even the best 160 pounder, who lost to David Lemieux, got knocked down 4 times, lost to Peter Quillen, who you guys say was overrated and all this shit and hated on my man Kid Chocolate. He knocked him down 6 times. His best win is probably Curtis Stevens or washed up Martin Murray. Now he's moving up from 160 to 168, where he probably doesn't belong, to fight a big-ass Caleb Smith, who's a champion. That's a title fight. That's a title defense. But these motherfuckers got the nerve to get mad at Wilder fighting his mandatory in Dominic Brazil, whose only sole loss was to Anthony Joshua, who went to the Olympics. Both of them, Olympians, in terms of Brazil and Joshua. And that was his only loss. You get what I'm saying? But why? So what about Caleb Smith? He's a champion. See, why is it? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, can't be no peace. Fuck peace. Ain't no peace till we get a peace. How come Caleb Smith is a fucking champion and he's only fighting? I like Caleb. He cool from what I seen. But why he ain't fighting David Benavidez and all these other Caleb Plants and, all these great fights that Zurdo Ramirez or some shit? Why is he fighting Hassan Indam out of all people? No complaints. These motherfuckers is fake. I tell you time and time again. Golden Boy, Jaime Munguia, champion at 154. Jared Hurd just fought his mandatory, which was obviously a dangerous mandatory because that mandatory beat him, Julian J. Rock Williams. Jaime Munguia, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy DAZN. His last fight was against Dennis Hogan out of Australia, who no one's ever fucking heard of. And from what I heard, Dennis Hogan should have won but got robbed on the scorecards because they fought in Mexico. But there's no criticism for these things. But if Errol Spence fights Ocampo or if he fights Peterson, there's this hoopla. There's this commotion about it. All that shit is a dub, bro. We see what you trying to do. We see who you trying to do it to. I was actually surprised that the Andy Ruiz fight is not faring well. Like, I looked at Matchroom. I could pull it up, but it's not, just take my word for it. Matchroom posted about the fight, Joshua, and the fans were like pissed in the comment section. Oh, this is bullshit, boring, yawn, nobody wants to see it. I don't even think the fight's that bad. See, and this is the funny thing. They say, oh, you hate AJ, you hate DAZN, you hate Eddie Hearn. But I'm not even bad-mouthing the Andy Ruiz fight. I think Andy Ruiz can scrap. But it still doesn't take away the consensus from what I've seen from the boxing world. A lot of people are still not sold. So more reasons why they're hating on Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder is making a splash. Deontay Wilder took the same person, the same exact face, the same exact person that Anthony Joshua fought, and he made it into an event, through the Mortal Kombat and the trash talk and, oh my God, I promise you I will destroy this man. I'm going to hit him with a Mortal Kombat fatality. I promise you. I'm going to catch a body. He made that fight into something. Like, for example, if Dominic Breazeale fought Eric Molina or Adam Kaunowski, it wouldn't have been this viral affair, even if Adam Kaunowski knocked out Dominic Breazeale. It wouldn't have. Wilder has a lot of spotlight on him, especially off the heels of Ortiz. That made a lot of noise. And Tyson Fury. That did wonders for his career, last year. And he carried on that momentum. Plus, he's charismatic. This is what they mad at, bro. If Dillian White, he had a good knockout over Derek Chisora, it didn't go viral. It wasn't nobody talk about that outside of hardcore boxing fans. And it happened on the day of a PBC fight, because I remember I was interviewing Keith Thurman watching the Chisora fight while I was holding my camera. I forgot what fight it was. Might have been the Charlos or something. We were getting ready they had a press conference before. Wilder, he's knocking doors down. It's just what it is. And all that stuff, like, you see the conversation shifting. Before, Eddie Hearn made it sound like Wilder was smoking crack, like it was a pipe dream to want 50-50. Now you've seen in recent interviews, Eddie's like, oh, maybe 50-50. Maybe he deserves that. Maybe blah, blah, blah. Then you have all these other fighters who are bad-mouthing Wilder, other heavyweights and stuff. And the ones that are bad-mouthing him, what they're saying doesn't even make sense. We'll break it down bar by bar, line by line. Dillian White. So what is he? Recently, he keeps saying it's been 500. Like, it's just doing too much. He said he's been waiting 586 days, and the WBC's protecting him. Won't. Let's break that down. Someone said Dillian White is still domestic. For the record, I like Dillian White, but I like the truth more than I like any fighter anyway. Let's break it down. He keeps saying that Wilder's protected. Wilder's last 3 fights are more difficult than Dillian White's last 3 fights. Who won a Rumble? Who won the hot seat? If the WBC is protecting Wilder, then tell me how Dillian White's last 3 fights were tougher than Wilder's last 3 fights. We'll do a hot seat right now. Y'all gonna run me. See, listen, I'm gonna make you respect me. I'm gonna make you call me pretty. I want that hot seat work. Who wants to really sit, one of you UK fucks, show some fucking stones and show your face and tell me how Dillian White, his last 3 fights, are tougher fights for any heavyweight, right? Tougher fights for any heavyweight than Wilder's last 3 fights. I didn't see Kaunowski. Jonathan, what's up? See, this is why it's old media. I tell you, like we making these motherfuckers extinct. They don't even want to show face. Like they used to be popping up in the chat. Ooh, I'll take the hot. They scared, bro. They don't even want to. They don't even want to take the hot seat, bro. Wilder. The bottom line, Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, a boogeyman who still nobody wants to fight, right? Wilder might have to fight him again because Dillian White didn't fight him in the meantime. Joshua didn't fight him in the meantime, etc. Right? Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, and then mandatory Dominic Breazeale, whose sole loss was Anthony Joshua. So what is White possibly talking about? How is that a witness protection schedule when he fought an undefeated Luis Ortiz, an undefeated Tyson Fury, and then he fought a once beaten Anthony Joshua? Bear in mind, Dominic Breazeale's sole loss was Anthony Joshua, and he's an Olympian, and he's 6'7". Bear in mind that Dillian White lost to that same man via same fashion. They both got stopped by Joshua. Difference is Dominic Breazeale's about 3 inches taller, 2.5, 3 inches taller than Dillian White, plus an Olympian, and they lost to the same person. So, what is he talking about? Like, even the Dominic Breazeale fight, that's a mandatory. How's that a protection when you guys have about the same resume? You might even be able to argue that, give or take, it's real comparable, right? It's not like Dillian White was fighting Luis Ortiz and Fury and, Daniel Dubois or some shit. So what are we talking about? Dillian White's last fights were Lucas Brown, who I never really rated, even though he is a champion. Even the fight where he became a champion, he was losing the fight, and he turned it around because he's a heavyweight with power. The Shagave or whatever the dude's name was. He was losing that fight, bro. He just lost to Dave Allen, who Luis Ortiz stomped. You know what I'm saying? Dave Allen he ain't the world beater of world beaters. That's who you knocked out. Then you beat Joseph Parker after he just came off a loss to Joshua and was no longer a champion. So you fought a fighter off of a loss, former champion off a loss, and then you fought a guy that you beat, even though I thought that guy beat you 2 years ago. You fought him 2 years later in Derek Chisora with almost double-digit losses. This is why people is mad and hating this shit, bro. Like, listen, I'm a real person. You got to make this stuff make sense. You have to make it make sense. If your claim, just answer this for yourself. If your claim is the WBC is protecting, how he got a tougher schedule? Do you get what I'm saying? Like how is the WBC's protection consist of him having a tougher schedule than you? Doesn't even make sense. So you got to just analyze what people say. So that doesn't make sense. I mean, Dillian White, he's like saying he's not impressed by Wilder knocking out Breazeale. Why? You and Breazeale, y'all both lost to Joshua. Y'all both are like guys with power, but he's a bigger guy than you with power. And he's an Olympian, not like he wasn't doing karate, kickboxing or whatever, and then got into boxing. So it's like people are rating Dillian White like he knocked out Luis Ortiz. Bro, if he would have fought Luis Ortiz on the WBC mandated it or told him to, that would have been a great fight. That would have been better than any of his last 3 fights for sure. And it would have been, and he said he'll knock Luis Ortiz out, but he didn't push for his promoter to get that. Nobody wanted to see Derek Chisora Part 2. You know what I'm saying? Who was really like, yo, I gotta see that. Especially if you had the option to fight Luis Ortiz. So that's Dillian White's claims. Doesn't make sense. He's being protected, but he's had a tougher schedule than you. Bottom line is the WBC has done that where they had two number one guys, and they said Dominic Breazeale was the one. And realistically, Dominic Breazeale versus Eric Molina was around the time he got the WBC silver against Hellenius. So it's not like you guys both became the number one around the same time. And how do you expect to strengthen your relationship with the WBC when you're not listening to what they're saying anyway? They said over a year ago for you to fight Luis Ortiz, and that fight has not even been close to set up. See, and Eddie Hearn's, his game, it works in the UK possibly because the UK is just going to go for the okie doke because they like him, because that's their countryman, so they're not going to look any deeper than need be. But America is not falling for it. You notice all these games that Eddie Hearn and Joshua and them be playing, rematch room, slave room, they don't work. Simply put, they do not work in America. Those same ass games. Nobody believes it. So let me get this straight. You're charging UK fans box office, which is pay-per-view, for a recycled fight. That's why it's called rematch room. Derek Chisora versus Dillian White. You could have charged pay-per-view for and satisfied the WBC's request, fought Luis Ortiz, which would have been a brand new fight. Now they're talking about Wilder versus Luis Ortiz 2. First fight was a good fight. If Dillian White fought Luis Ortiz like the WBC said, guess what? Wilder probably wouldn't be in the position to be picking Luis Ortiz if you did what you said you were going to do and knocked him out. Let me run that back for you. WBC ordered over a year ago, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz. Dillian White has not fought him. Anthony Joshua called out Luis Ortiz. Anthony Joshua has not fought him. Notice the two slave room, rematch room fighters have not fought Luis Ortiz. Now we're hearing rumblings that Wilder might fight Luis Ortiz possibly on pay-per-view. So if Anthony Joshua or Dillian White took care of Luis Ortiz and beat him like they or their promoter has said, you heard when Luis Ortiz got offered the fight on 5.5 weeks, Eddie Hearn was like, Joshua, he'll knock him out in 3 rounds tops. Okay, so if Joshua knocked him out in 3 rounds tops, or if Dillian White, who I have the video, knocked out Luis Ortiz like he said he was going to do, I'll knock out the old man and all this stuff, then guess what? How or why would PBC be talking about Wilder versus Luis Ortiz on pay-per-view if you fought him? PBC is not dumb. They're not finna put Luis Ortiz coming off a knockout loss versus Wilder on pay-per-view. So if the people who are complaining, oh, I don't want to see Wilder versus Luis Ortiz again, which it's deeper than that. I got some other stuff to add to that. But for the people who are complaining, blame Rematch Room, because they both have fighters. They have 2 different heavyweights that are top shelf that could have fought Luis Ortiz. AJ's an A-side. He could have picked Luis Ortiz just off the strength of who he is with the full camp and fought him and knocked him out like his promoter said, or Dillian White, who was ordered to fight him. So if you really didn't like the fight, you could have interjected yourself into that conversation by fighting him yourself and sparing the fans instead of spending pay-per-view for Derek Chisora 2 or Joseph Parker off a loss on pay-per-view. It could have been a fresh match that people would have respected. And then there wouldn't have been no Wilder Luis Ortiz 2 talk, because he would have been coming off a loss and that would have knocked him down the ladder, or he has to climb back up a bit. Just like Deontay Wilder, he just knocked out Dominic Breazeale. So let's say Dillian White knocked out Breazeale. Then why would Wilder fight Breazeale coming off a knockout loss on pay-per-view? Doesn't make sense. So if you really didn't want Luis Ortiz in the picture, you could have took him out the picture, and then that would have helped corner Deontay Wilder. But nobody wanted that Luis Ortiz work. Smash the like button, we working. So, like I said, all these UK games and shit, nobody's falling for that, bro. Nobody's falling for it. Nobody believes any of it, really. So, you could scream, Dillian White could scream that Wilder's protected, but he's had a tougher last 3 fights than you have. So that doesn't make sense just off the strength of that. And like I said, as far as Luis Ortiz Wilder rematch, there's no way on earth I can imagine PBC talking about Wilder Ortiz 2 on pay-per-view if Dillian White knocked him out, if Anthony Joshua knocked him out. How? When have you ever seen that really happen, where a guy whose star power is like Luis Ortiz gets knocked out, and then they're trying to put him in his very next fight on a pay-per-view versus one of their bigger stars? Come on, man. You don't really see that. Closest would be like Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia. He's coming off of a loss, and that might go on pay-per-view. But that's even in itself is different because Mikey Garcia has, I would say, a more inherent fan base, especially when you couple it with Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican and a Mexican American, and Puerto Rican American fighting versus like a Luis Ortiz. I don't think he has that type of fan base where he could just command a pay-per-view coming off of a knockout loss at heavyweight. And the funny thing is, none of these guys come to Wilder's fights. Why doesn't Dillian White, if you're like the WBC's protecting you, why don't you just come to the fight though? Chop it up with Wilder. Have a man-to-man conversation and confrontation or whatever. I'm sure he's made some money in the last couple of fights, millions. He traveled for the Broner-Pacquiao fight, which had nothing to do with his division. So why wouldn't Dillian White come out? AJ's training in Miami. He could have caught a 2-hour flight, hour-and-a-half flight from Miami to New York. He might even have access to a private jet for Anthony Joshua. Didn't come to the fight. I was there. So, these things don't sound believable to me. So that's as far as it goes with Dillian White. He's a cool fighter, but what he's saying doesn't make sense. The WBC's protecting. And see, this is the thing. You're just common sense for me. You're basically talking shit about the WBC and their decision-making process, and you think somehow that is going to strengthen your relationship with them for them to make you the immediate mandatory. I don't see that as a winning formula. You keep saying the WBC's biased and protecting Wilder and they're scared for Wilder. So you're basically talking about their code of ethics. You're talking down on them. You're berating them. So I don't think that brings you any closer to being ordered the mandatory when you do stuff like that. There's a lot of people who have, felt slighted by sanctioning bodies. Like, there's some people that got done worse by, like Demetrius Andrade. He really got fucked up. They just stripped him. He said, you ain't fought, you a champion. And they put his belt up, and Liam Smith got his belt, the WBO. Rigondeaux, he fought Lomachenko at 130, and the WBA or whoever it was, WBO or WBA, they said, even though you're fighting at 130, if you lose to Lomachenko, we stripping you at 122. That's fucked up. Because how is he getting stripped for losing at 130? Mikey Garcia wouldn't have got stripped by the WBC at lightweight if he fought at lightweight and followed protocol, but he knew he didn't want to go from 47 back down to 35. So, either way, it doesn't make sense to be bad-mouthing the WBC and then expecting them to do you any favors. It's similar to Bob Arum saying, oh, Al Heyman, he sucks. Don't buy PBC fights until he makes Crawford versus Spence. All right, bro. If you think that's the best way to get a fight over the line, that doesn't look like it looks like they have other plans for Errol Spence and Sean Porter, but you think talking bad on Al Heyman on the Crawford Khan pay-per-view is the way to get that fight and get proper negotiations. Come on, bro. So, just a little bit of common sense, at least to me. So I don't really think Dillian White is helping his case by constantly doing this like smear campaign for Wilder, because you don't realize it maybe, but you're also, that means you're smearing the WBC. You're saying that the way they're operating ain't the same. And it's funny that rematch room and rematch room fighters haven't learned this. You know, Eddie Hearn said some stuff about the WBC and Dillian White and stuff. And then guess what? He just signed Devin Haney. Devin Haney was thought to get the Luke Campbell WBC fight because they're the number 1 and 2 ranked person. And he promised Devin Haney that. And then he couldn't deliver because the WBC said, nope, we're okay with the unification. Top Rank and Bob Arum reached out. We want Luke Campbell versus Lomachenko. Sorry, Devin. Sorry, Hearn. So it's funny that rematch room fighters haven't learned that, you know, doing those certain things probably don't help your case. You know, like you basically you talking shit about the way someone conducts business and then expecting them to, you know, side with you. So that's that. Moving on to Tyson Fury, and then we're going to get to Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury says Wilder can run. I mean, he's saying ridiculous stuff. If you thought Dillian White, what he said was bad, then what Tyson Fury is saying is insanity. He said that Wilder can run as long as he wants. And he literally admitted to being in negotiation where contracts were sent. And then he seen a deal with ESPN that he couldn't pass up. So he's basically admitting to ducking, but somehow trying to spin it on Wilder, like Wilder didn't want the rematch. Like, I don't know what's going on with the UK, but these things aren't a good look as far as what I'm concerned. And the funny thing is the UK is losing steam as far as like the hotbed. At one point they had 13 or 14 live active champions. That number has dwindled down to about 6 or so. And people are now under the realization, because they had that hot streak and then it kind of came and went, people lost. And now the UK, they've been taking some L's. Ted Cheeseman lost. Amir Khan got stopped and quit. Kell Brook didn't look good in his last fight. Joshua's stock dropped. Who else? I know I'm missing some. You know, Sam Agington just lost. Anthony Corolla got the shit beat out of him by Lomachenko. Just been some L's. You know, Eddie Hearn's been taking some L's. Stuff like that. So now people are back to the realization that everything starts in America. America is still the Mecca. America has, you know, the money to facilitate mega fights and to get people popping and viral and stuff like that. So he said, Ego, you see AJ working on head movement, new media got him shook. Nah, I didn't see him. Was he on Instagram or something? Fury ran to ESPN to avoid Wilder. Nothing he says is relevant anymore. See? Here's what they think about you. That's what I'm saying. Like, Tyson Fury has survived off of like banter and he's a good fighter. But I'm saying a lot of what he was saying was funny because it hadn't been proven to be wrong. Like, but now he's at a point where the stuff he's saying is no longer believable. So it doesn't have the same effect. Like, before the Wilder fight, he says, I'll knock you Spark out. He didn't come close to knocking Wilder out. But in turn, Wilder had him on the mat twice. And it was looking ugly and very grim. And Jack Reese was, you know, a lot of people would say he was compassionate, you know, and that's in that moment where he gave Fury every opportunity in a championship fight to try to come back correct. You get what I'm saying? So it just doesn't sound believable. And that hurts Tyson Fury, because before, when he was saying this, I'm the Gypsy King and blah, 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 people would at least believe it. But now what you're saying is not even believable. You're admitting that you were in negotiation with Wilder and ran because you ran to ESPN because they made you an offer you couldn't refuse, like The Godfather. But then on the same token, you're saying Wilder has to stop running. This is like the definition of like a contradiction or oxymoron. Like, this makes no sense. That's like me being married and then I'm going through a divorce because my wife found out I was cheating and I admit to cheating, but then somehow I try to blame the divorce on something else. But the real reason, we all know the real reason we're getting divorced is because I cheated and stepped outside of the, infidelity, and then I'm admitting to the cheating and I'm admitting that I got caught, and I'm like, trying to spin it and make it look like, oh yeah, we argued, we went to the movies 2 days before and we got in an argument. She didn't want butter on the popcorn and I did. Like, motherfucker, come on, bro. We know that's the butter on the popcorn, movie theater butter. That is not why you're going through a fucking divorce. Stop it. You're going through a divorce, had nothing to do with the movie theater butter on the popcorn or Orville Redenbacher set you up and all that. It was because you cheated. We as men and women and adults, we just have to start calling what we see, no matter where we're from, no matter what our age or gender is. We just have to call it what we see. That it's like that type of delusions of grandeur and just delusional thought process. It doesn't make sense. Just fess up to what you did. Like I said, if I was going through divorce and the reason we're getting a divorce is because I cheated, then as a man, I would just be like, fuck, I fucked up, blah, blah, blah. Don't make it look like it was like because of movie theater popcorn and shit from 2 days before, because she wasn't filing divorce papers immediately after that. But if she was filing divorce papers after I cheated, then we know what the reason is. So Tyson Fury can say whatever he wants, but nobody believes that Wilder is the one that didn't want the fight. Nobody believes that. And to this day, you look at it. Hold on. It's hot as fuck. The weather. This weather's starting to change out here in Cali. But anyway, we already know what it is, bro. We know why the fight fell apart. And that's another thing with Dillian White saying. Look at how it all ties in. Dillian White is claiming the WBC is protecting Wilder. But the WBC ordered Wilder versus Fury 2. Fury pulled a slick one. He pulled a fast one and went over to ESPN and, pulled the rug under the WBC and Wilder's legs. He pulled the rug from underneath them. So this whole notion of the WBC is protecting Wilder from White that's another reason it sounds horrific, is the world knows that Wilder was down and going to fight Tyson Fury, which nobody can complain about that. And the only reason he fought Dominic Breazeale was because he took care of his mandatory because Fury decided to fight Tom Schwartz on ESPN. Right? So that's another reason why Dillian White's claims of WBC witness protection make no sense, because the world knows that Wilder was down for the rematch. He was pushing for the rematch. Everybody thought the rematch, including the fans, was going to happen. They had the venue at the Barclays, etc. So how is he protected when the only reason he fought Breazeale was in lieu of Tyson Fury's action? You have to react to it because he, pulled out and said, I'm not fighting Wilder. I'm on ESPN now, guys. But anyway, back to Tyson Fury. What he's saying sound. I'll bare knuckle fight. I'm not. That's why you don't see me making no video about no shit like that, bro. They're both grown ass men. Wilder's the stronger guy, stronger puncher. Why would you bare knuckle fight him for free? You pull out of the rematch to fight Tom Schwartz, right? For money, you know. Just analyze this. This is the level. See, old media is being met with so much resistance. They are not used to it. They are not used to it. Block top 5 viral. They're getting hit with so much resistance. They're not used to it. So before, back in the day, you could just say whatever, no one analyze it, whatever. We're analyzing what you say. Shooters, get on it, man. Like, y'all gotta hold it down, because I don't really care what these motherfuckers is talking about. They not finna stop my show. That's cool. Go to old media and tell us about everything you feel. Anonymous guy, shout out to you. It's a good idea. You ducked out of the rematch, and you're citing Showtime couldn't pull the numbers or the money together that enticed you to fight in the rematch. That's what they said, right? Tyson Fury says Showtime didn't have enough money and they didn't have the type of viewership, so that's why the rematch didn't happen. Okay, so they didn't have enough money, but you're saying you'll fight Wilder in Times Square for free, bare knuckle with no gloves. Make that make sense. You see how stupid this shit sounds? Nobody believes it. So you want to fight a guy who just had a one-hitter quitter, which is already unbelievable. You want to fight him bare knuckle, even though the founder of bare knuckle boxing, the new league with Paulie Malignaggi and Artem Lobov, he just admitted that Wilder couldn't fight in their league because he hits too hard. No gloves, he might kill somebody. And they don't want that, they don't want a body on their conscience. So that's already unbelievable. But beyond that, you said Showtime didn't have enough money and enough viewership to make the fight go through in the rematch. That was one of the excuses Fury said. But you're down to fight him for free $99, bare knuckle in Times Square. Yeah, it's just talk. Here's another thing. You want to fight him bare knuckle in Times Square, but you didn't go to his fight. Like, come on, man. Like, this stuff don't even make sense, bro. The trash talk is like, it's not even like, trash talk is good when it's at least believable. Like, I was just in New York, and then Tyson Fury, I didn't see him there. I didn't see one media person or outlet upload no Tyson Fury videos. So it's just like, if you really wanted to taunt the bull or whatever, if someone really wanted smoke like that, then why wouldn't they at least go to confront the person and yell at him or whatever? You get what I'm saying? You would at least put yourself in like, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of game. Shout out to Joseph Brown, $5 super chat. They set up Fury for failure. He out here campaigning lies. The pressure and lies could cause a relapse. Shout out to you for the comment. I'm gonna give y'all some game. Y'all want some game? If y'all want some game, let's get the likes up, and can I get a hell yeah? I'm gonna give y'all some free game. Some free game real quick. I'm gonna give y'all a free game about women. It ain't gonna take too long. If y'all want that free game, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? I'm gonna give y'all some, a little pointer. Okay. The people want it. All right, I'm going to give y'all some free game. Check it. Men often fail when it comes to dating, like when there's a girl you like a coworker or something. Men often fail because like they always feel the need that they have to do something to impress the female, right? Like it's like the illusion of action. You think you have to do something, right? Or if a girl breaks up with you, you think you have to, oh, I gotta win her back, yeah. But realistically, that doesn't give people a chance to miss you. You know, if you break up with a girl, she wasn't feeling you for whatever reason, and then you start hounding her, hey, please, baby, please, baby, please, you know, take me back, take me back. So people oftentimes have this like illusion of action. But let me tell you this about women. If women have a high level of attraction to you, like a high level of attraction, like your coworker or some shit, she gonna put herself in your orbit. What that mean is she gonna put herself in the position to be seen. Like she got that like nice dress on, business casual or whatever. She's looking good, and she gonna make sure you know. And she gonna walk by you and smile and look. Women that are really feeling you, they'll drop them little hints, and then as a man, you got to do your part. All you got to do, so you don't have to just come up to them like necessarily. All you have to do is wait for a woman to put herself in your orbit, start dropping. That's why social media, you can see them too. There's little signs that women give. Like she liked 3 of your pictures out of nowhere, you know, or you ain't talked to her in 3 years and she'll be in your DM responding to your Instagram story with heart eyes. Women do these little things because most women, I'm not talking about like Tatianas and shit like that. I'm talking about like, you know, nice, respectable women and stuff. A lot of women don't want to be the pursuer. They want to play the female role, you know, the more feminine role. They don't want to be like, oh, yo, hey, yo, nigga, what's your number? You know what I'm saying? They don't want to just get at you like that, right? But the bottom line is all you got to do as a man, work on your purpose, do you know, make sure you look the part and, you know, you have something to offer. And like I said, women will put themselves in your orbit, right? Now, the reason I gave y'all that free game is because I'm going to use that analogy to talk about this. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, they all said they want Deontay Wilder, and, you know, on Twitter, oh, fuck him, I want to bare knuckle fight him and stuff. But they're not putting themselves in Wilder's orbit. It's a Wilder show, right? They're the ones like talking about him, which is looking like clout chasing now. You know, they're the ones talking about him. Like Fury wants to bare knuckle fight him, but he's not even coming to the fight to confront him or to talk to him or whatever. You know, Joshua's like, oh yeah, it's mad. I want to fight him, and he's training in Miami, but he didn't come to the fight just to watch it as a spectator. You know, and Wilder has been to some fights in the UK. That's all the way in the UK. So I can understand someone might not want to take a 15, 16-hour flight to go, you know, to watch someone's fight necessarily. And Wilder was willing to do it. And he was even going to come to the Joseph Parker Joshua fight. The only reason he didn't is because AJ said he couldn't get in the ring. So he's like, man, fuck this. I'll watch it from home. You know, they getting extra security and shit for me. That's weak. You know, but the difference is Joshua is training in Miami. He's training on the same coast that Wilder had to fight, and he didn't even go. You know, and come on, bro. You think he's in camp 24/7? If he got time to do MTV Cribs, oh, yo, this is my gym. It's like a warehouse, and I like panthers. Look at this panther on the wall. This is Africa. You know, Lucy was found in Africa. You know, I like Africa. I'm from Africa. I'm an African booty scratcher. Like, you know, come on, bro. If you have time to do all that, but you really want to fight Wilder, but you don't want to make a statement by putting himself in the orbit, just like I said with females. Just like I said with females. Females will put themselves in your orbit. Shout out to Drew. He said Tatiana. Yeah, man. Females that like you, they will put themselves, they'll make sure you notice them. You know, especially if they look good, got their nails done, got a nice outfit, got, you know, hair did, you know, some cleavage showing, smell good. They're going to make sure you know that they smell good. They're going to put themselves in your orbit. So the same thing goes for this. If Tyson Fury really wanted to bare knuckle fight and all this wild stuff he's saying in the thing, why wouldn't you at least go to his fight? You know? And then, you know, yo, boom dosa, I'm here, you know. He didn't even do that. So I can't read too much into that bare knuckle shit. Plus, why would you want to bare knuckle fight someone when you're a professional fighter? And then that would be, you know, something that people could get arrested and stuff when you could fight them and get paid for it. But you, instead of doing that, you're fighting Tom Schwartz. For these reasons, none of that's believable. So little by little, old media, their voices, you know, it's on the decline. Because all we have to do is analyze what they are saying. All we have to do is analyze what they're saying and then check it for consistency and continuity, and we immediately see it makes no fucking sense. You know, Dillian White, oh, Wilder, he has been protected by the WBC, but he fought Luis Ortiz and Fury, 2 undefeated fighters. Bro, what type of protection is that? Oh yeah, we're gonna protect this heavyweight. You know. And the funny thing is like, if anyone's been protected, why didn't Luis Ortiz get a shot at any matchroom fighter? So it sounds like the rematch room fighters are being protected from Luis Ortiz, because Luis Ortiz said he whipped the smoke with all of them. You know, not no fucking half camp and all that. Fuck all that. Give him a full camp for either guy. Make the fight. Eddie Hearn got $7 million for him versus Joshua. You know, what you can give him for the Dillian White. Appreciate you helping work get to the lunch hour. Yeah, no doubt, man. So anyway, it's sad because they did all of this. A lot of these guys did all this. Their promoters and all this did all this to make Wilder sound irrelevant. But now people can't stop talking about Wilder. It's really funny. It's funny how like these people like Errol Spence, Wilder, Al Heyman, Ego, you know, the Black Channel. It's funny. It's funny that we the most talked about. But then they always complain. New media sucks. Oh, nobody knows. Blah blah blah. You trash. But why they coming back under multiple accounts? Shit like that. You know, they did all this to make Wilder sound insignificant, but now every heavyweight is talking about Wilder. Everyone. And the funny thing is, if you really analyze it, the Dominic Breazeale fight week was built up, and the fight promotion was built up with minimal Joshua talk. Minimal Joshua talk. Wilder didn't really incessantly talk about Joshua. He damn sure didn't talk about Dillian White, and he didn't really talk about Tyson Fury. Timeless grind, new media. Remember KO. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. You notice that? Wilder, a lot of what he said fight week and stuff. Shout out to Tiger Hood, $2 super chat. Tyson Curry. Wow. Tyson Curry needs attention from these men. Yeah, they did what? Kevin Jones, yeah, you said, yeah, they did what? What are you talking about? You got 10 seconds to let me know what you're talking about. Homeboy. Kevin Jones, yeah, they did what? 9 seconds. Okay. 8 seconds. Kevin Jones, yeah, they did what? Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? 8 seconds, Kevin Jones. Come on. Breathe. Yeah, you got to breathe, Kevin Jones. Breathe. 7 seconds, Kevin Jones. Breathe. You just fell off, Kevin Jones? You to cat got your tongue? Kevin Jones, breathe. They tried to make Deontay Wilder insignificant. Hey, bro, you almost caught a fatal one. Because it looked like you was talking about something else. I don't know. All right, we'll let you off the hook. Anyway, Wilder built up the Brazil fight really talking about Brazil. You know, he was talking about killing Brazil. He's like, oh, I can legally kill a man and get away with it. We are gladiators. We put our life on behind the wall. You know, he wasn't like incessantly talking about AJ. See, this is the clout chase. I'm telling you, look at PBC and look at some of the guys. Al Heyman got the juice right now. Like Gerald Miller. Just look at it. There is no fight that's happening outside of PBC where whole promotions aren't being built with talk of other people. Like, for example, Lomachenko's fighting Corolla. Fight week, they're for some reason talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, an Al Heyman fighter, right? Tyson Fury's fighting Tom Schwartz. He's talking about knocking out Wilder and bare knuckle fighting, an Al Heyman fighter. You know, Crawford versus Khan. You have the whole ESPN panel, Bob Arum talking about Errol Spence. You know, look at the trend. Everybody's fight week can't be their own fight week without mentioning Al Heyman and Al Heyman fighters. Now, I'm not bringing up PBC because like Pacquiao can mention Floyd because that's in his network of fighters that he can readily fight. If he looks good versus Keith Thurman, maybe Mayweather comes out of retirement. We don't know. But these other companies that haven't really made big fights with Al Heyman, their whole promotion is talking about, you know, AJ versus Miller. Miller fails a drug test. They talking about Adam Kanowski, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, Al Heyman fighters. Y'all don't see this? It's just me. Golden Boy. Canelo's fighting Danny Jacobs. They talking about Canelo versus Errol Spence. They talking about Jaime Munguia versus the Charlos and Jared Hurd and all this shit, bro. And when I'm saying talking, I'm saying like these are major headlines that we're seeing throughout the fight week. So like, just watch it. Just watch it. Mark my words. Tyson Fury, you're going to hear more, you know, there's probably going to be some AJ talk, but you're going to hear more questions and dialogue about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder when, you know, come closer to his fight week, even more than we're hearing now. You see? That's why I'm not doing that no more, bro. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to incessantly talk about this shit. Show me some progress. Show me something real, like an ass with stretch marks, like Kendrick talk about. Like, you got to show me something real, you know, because everyone's trying to clout chase. I've never been a clout chaser, never had to do that. You ain't never seen me the whole time I was coming up on this YouTube, you know, platform, in this stratosphere, in this digital platform. You ain't never seen me clout chase. You ain't never seen me, like, if there was someone I agreed with, disagreed, I didn't even have to reference them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to even, if I disagree with them, I didn't make a video, oh, here's why I disagree with John Doe boxing. I never did that, bro. But that's what the game is getting to. It's like everybody want to clout chase. No, we can't support that. We don't support the clout chase. So talk to me about Tyson Fury. Talk about Danny. Like, talk about Tyson Fury, Tom Schwartz. Tell me more about Tom Schwartz. I already know everything I need to know about Deontay Wilder as a fighter. Tell me about Tom Schwartz, because that's the guy I don't know about. You know what I mean? I don't know about Tom Schwartz. So tell me how you're going to dismantle him, how he was selected. Oh, let me guess, because he's ranked in 2 sanctioning bodies. It's the only thing they can say. You know? So instead of building up the actual fight you're fighting that your team selected, you know, and making the fans privy, they're trying to build excitement on the backs of other people's name via clout chase. We new media. We draw the line in the sand and we do what we want to do. And this is one of those moments. I told you, you're going to see changes around this motherfucker. We control the narrative, you know. And you're going to see things start drying up. I don't care. Talk about Joshua Ruiz. That's who he's fighting. Not Joshua Tyson Fury, Joshua Wilder, Joshua Ortiz. Let's talk about Joshua Ruiz. Build excitement on that. Because like I said, Wilder actually did a pretty good job of primarily keeping the conversation about Dominic Breazeale. Like, he was making headlines about what he was going to do to Dominic Breazeale. You know, and if he did mention AJ, he mentioned how Breazeale fought AJ, because I have a video and he's like, and then Dominic Breazeale, he fought Anthony Joshua. He embarrassed us. He embarrassed us all. The whole United States was embarrassed. You talk all that and got your ass whipped. You know, so he said stuff like that, but he wasn't like building like, oh, I can't wait to fight Joshua. He's doing his own thing. So, you know, that's what I like to see. Real shit, you know, because they're trying to get you hype off of shit that's not happening. Yeah, and the thing is, Luis Ortiz, he was at the fight for like my man said, Slip the Jab said, he was at the fight. So if Dillian White wanted to smoke with him, there would have been like a 2. He could have cussed out Luis Ortiz and then cussed out Wilder and pushed for the fight. And I'm gonna tell you like this: these promotions are lacking. There's a lot of promotions that are lacking. Joshua's finna fight Andy Ruiz. That's coming up sooner than you think. I'm not seeing no. Where's the Meek Mill special? I ain't seen it. Y'all seen it? Who watched the AJ Ruiz Meek Mill special? I have not seen it. I have not seen it available. He about to fight in 10 days, 9 days. Who has watched Joshua Meek Mill, whatever they did? See, it's getting crazy. Who has seen Joshua Meek Mill behind the scenes special or whatever? Told you, everything goes to new media. We make shit hot, and I'm gonna prove it. We make shit hot. Joshua's fighting in America in 9 days. He's supposed to have some kind of behind the scenes shit with Meek Mill. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen nobody talk about it. Ronald Finkley said crickets. Oh my gosh. See, y'all, wow, horrible. Y'all questioning it. That's not good. Joshua fights in 9 days, and people don't even know what the fuck I'm even talking about. They're like, never heard of it. Meek Mill special? What do you mean? Oh, good luck. Good job, Eddie Hearn. I'm telling y'all, it's a new day, bro. New media. They gonna have to come correct. They gonna have to start showing respect to American boxing fans, and everything goes through new media. How many of you guys, I'm just being honest, how many of you guys watched Demetrius Andrade Selesky press conference? He said, and they claim it's sold out. I guess, you know. How many of y'all watch Andrade Selesky press conference? He said, Meal. I'm done. Someone said Meek Mill ain't even seen it. No heavyweight took advantage of getting exposure except Ortiz. Like you just said, Ego. White should have been there spitting in every direction for exposure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got video with Luis Ortiz. I was there. The boxing media was there. Listen, Joshua fighting in 9 days and nobody's seen no type of promotion. Someone said Andre's fighting. See, this, whatever, bro. See, people don't even know. Like, Andre did a whole press conference. People were talking about the Pacquiao Thurman press conference. They're talking about the Pacquiao Thurman conference from what I seen. Andrade had a press conference and I didn't even see it. See, but if they would have talked, if it was Andrade versus Triple G, I feel like that would have been talked about more. DAZN got to step up with the promotion, bruh. DAZN got to step up that promotion, bruh. Devin Haney fighting this week. He's a brand new signee fighting this week in a main event. They got to step up that promotion, bruh. You know, I'm trying to tell y'all, everything starts and ends with new media, bro. It's a new day. We the digital mob. We make this shit hot. They got to start coming in our direction. You know, got to start reaching out to us. Like they should be emailing me, sending me credentials. They should pay for my flight to go cover. They need promo. They don't have to. I'm good with that. They don't have to. But I'm just saying it's a new day, bro. We make the streets hot. Make it hot. Make it hot. We make these fights hot, and people don't respect it. So I'm going to make you respect it. I'm going to make you call me pretty. Ego, when you were in New York City, did you see any posters, flyers, or billboards for the AJ fight? Because I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't see one. I seen them for Brazil. Across from the Barclays, they had a big red, black and white billboard. I seen an old one. Blue was with me. I seen an old one with Crawford Khan, but I didn't see no AJ promo. That's a good shout out to you on that super chat. That's a good one. That's what I'm saying. They need help. That's what I'm saying. See, oh my gosh. When will y'all listen to me? It's not about having money. It's about utilizing the money you have. Let me say that again. It's not just about having money. It's about utilizing the money you have. You feel what I'm saying? Like DAZN has money or whatever to dump into boxing. They have this platform, but how are they utilizing it? You get what I'm saying? Like, how are they utilizing it? Devin Haney's fighting this weekend. No one's talking about it. Usyk, we don't know what the fuck when he's healthy, when he's coming back. Andrade had a press conference which ran in conjunction with Pacquiao's press conference. Like, why? Why didn't you do the Andrade press conference today? You know, since Pacquiao and Thurman were on Monday and Tuesday, and that's a bigger fight than Selecki versus Andrade. You know, why not mix it up? DAZN is notorious for this, for putting on fights or fight weeks that directly coincide with the promotion or fight week of another bigger fight. Here's another thing. If I'm not mistaken, like, I fuck with Andrade. I like Andrade. I would probably go to his fight. But guess what? Andrade's fighting, if I'm not mistaken, the same fight week as Charlo. I already had the Charlo fight, like, thought about. I was like, man, because I ain't never been to H-Town. So I already had that, like, in mind. I've already booked. I already booked for Houston. So it's crazy what they're doing. Like, there's 52 weeks in a year, 365 days a year, and it's like, it seems like they're putting these fight. Andre keeps fighting on somebody like another fight week that I feel like is gonna outshine it, because he fought on the Broner Pacquiao fight week, and now he's fighting on the same fight week as Charlo. I'm gonna be at the Charlo fight. You know, nothing against Andre. I fuck with Andre. I like Andre, but you know, that's just the one I'm going to. But if it was on a different week, then I would probably try to get out to Andre Selecki. So, you know, it's just crazy. He said, "Oh Jesus, that's a no-brainer." Charlo. Here, I'll ask you guys. Let me just check on the dates. It's just because if I'm not mistaken, it's on the same date. I like to give you guys reliable information. All right, Charlo versus Adams in Houston, a hometown fight, which Charlo has been requesting a hometown fight, is on June 29th. Andrade Yeah. Andre Selesky on June 29th. They're the same date. So I'm going to ask y'all, what would you rather me cover? Because I'll do what the fans want. Would you rather cover me the Charlo fight, Charlo Brandon Adams, the contender winner in Houston, or Andre Selesky? Fans run the channel. Okay. Shout out to my dude Kennedy in the building, shooter extraordinaire. Can y'all hear me, motherfucker? Hello? What fight? Okay, Andre, Charlo all day, Charlo. So look, everybody's saying Charlo. One person said Android. That's what I thought you guys would want. So I've already booked my room, but I still have time to cancel it. But everyone's saying Charlo. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't see how DAZN can win like this. And see, and the other thing is, I talked to Blue Blood. Shout out to Blue. I talked to Blue Blood, and he going to the Charlo fight, or he's thinking about it, or whatever. So, Andre's fighting at fucking Dunkin' Donuts or whatever the venue's called, Windchill's Donuts or whatever, Krispy Kreme, wherever he fighting at a donut place or whatever. I don't know the venue. It's called Dunkin' Donuts Center or some shit. Y'all really love Charlo? What are you talking about? Jose Cruz, block him. I don't even care, bro. I don't even care what these dudes are talking about. See, this is they always try to turn it to some crush or something. Y'all really love I really love when my shooters block you, bro. Block Jose Cruz. They don't have nothing to do with it. I'm going, bro, this is a business. I'm going where the action is. And if you really want to keep it all the way a stack, you gotta make savage moves like a true savage. When the Charlos fight, especially a hometown fight in H-Town, I think it's gonna be lit. So for me as a business, I look at Houston. I'm like, damn, Trey the Truth is there. The Charlos are friends with Chris Brown. I don't know who the fuck is gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? The Houston Rockets, they might have some people there. It's not like the Rockets is in the finals. There might be Rockets players. So I got to look at it from a business perspective. But beyond that, just within the PBC stable, who might be there? Probably Tank and Broner, definitely Jamel, and it's going to be a week after Jamel's fight. And then, Errol Spence is going to be there. He's from Dallas, so why the fuck wouldn't he go? So, yeah. So who's going to be at the Andre in Rhode Island? As a businessman, I have to make business decisions. I think the Houston shit's finna be lit. Beyonce from Houston. What if Beyonce was there? And Jay, it's perfect. I don't know who the fuck gonna be there. Me and the boy, hey, I got more in common than just ballin' and rhyming. Get it? More in common. Left condoms in your baby seat, nigga. I'm a glitch, I'm a computer, nigga. I'm the shit, I'm a sewer. Yeah, Jay might be there. I don't know who the fuck gonna be there. Beyonce might be there. So, he said, Jose, you're out of it. Yeah, get Jose the fuck about it. Bro. Listen, I'm like Antonio Banderas in Desperado. I'm a one-man band with the La Guitarra, you know what I'm saying? I got the guitar case. Remember that dude he had the case and he was shooting them rockets out, bro? So I got to make my moves count. I got to bust a move. I would cover Andre Selesky, I think that's solid, but, first of all, for me, I'm in Cali. So Texas is a little bit shorter of a flight than East Coast like that. So, anyway, I mean, I don't see how DAZN can win like this. I really don't. Andre Selesky versus Charlo in a hometown fight. So they both have hometown fights, but it comes down to what do you think is going to be more popping, a H-town fight or Andre in Rhode Island on the same night on a app, or Charlo on on Showtime a week after his brother. You get what I'm saying? So that to me is kind of like the Charlos is still kind of like a package deal. The last fight they fought on the same card, and then now they're fighting a week apart. That's strategic. This all takes proper planning. This is all Al Heyman's people and the brain power planning that. That's strategic because whatever the fuck I think Jermell Charlo and Harrison is a good rematch in Vegas. So whatever the fuck happened there is gonna carry over to the next fight week. You feel what I'm like? If Jermell wins, then I'll be we'll be able to talk to media. We'll be able to talk to Jermell the fight week at his brother's fight. If Jermell loses again and doesn't get the title, whatever happens, his brother's fighting the next week. So whether he wins or loses, I feel like it's going to be something to talk about the very next week. So it's kind of like a storyline with Jermell fighting 1 week for his title back. What if Jermell knocks Tony Harrison the fuck out? What if then seeing him at the fight week the very next week be like, oh, how do you feel getting a knockout again? You know what I'm saying? It's just automatically something to talk about. He said it's filthy. He said 50 be going hard. You must be talking about 50 Mozzie. Who said the zones take it? He said, all right, Rio James, you in the hot seat because I think you trolling. He said the zone is taking over. Based like, what are you talking about? What they took over? Based on what? When I just had the fans vote and they said they would rather me go to the Charlo fight. So how they take over? 10 seconds. Can't waste too much time on this. I don't need no hook for this. So how are they taking over? 8 seconds. Rio James. We're going to send your ass back to the Rio. Business and look what they done in a short space of time. No examples. 5 seconds. Shooters, get ready. We need examples, partner. 4 seconds. You see how is all this ambiguous shit? Oh, yeah, they look what they did in a short space of time. They took over. But you just give us examples. 3 seconds. Not disputing that Charlotte blocked this motherfucker. Bye-bye. It's been fun. Rio James. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Once again, no explanations. You see, it's all ambiguous, vague comment. Oh, yeah. Hey, Black Rio. Bye-bye, Rio James. Why these motherfuckers even come, bro? He admitted he's in the UK. These dudes is desperate. PBC can put on a comparable fight for every card the zone has. That's what I'm saying. It's all strategic, bro. Like man, and then he said DAZN's taking over. Speaking of takeover, the guy Charlo's fighting in Houston, Triple G was supposed to be fighting, and that I don't know how desired that fight would have been for Triple G, based on who he is and his fighting style and all that, but most certainly would have been received a bit better than the fighting against Steve Rolls. So speaking of takeover, Al Heyman, that's another strategic move, bro. He took Triple G, the guy that they were trying to negotiate for Triple G. Again, me personally, I don't really know how that formula will win. I don't know how that'll win for DAZN. Like, Showtime is still cheaper. Okay, so Wilder just fought on Showtime. Then Charlo's fighting next month on Showtime. It's cheaper than DAZN. Plus, they have Showtime, like, actual shows and content and movies. You feel me? And movies and different shit. DAZN has a higher price point. And then some of their fights, like I keep saying, are happening in conjunction with other big fights. I don't see how you can win like that, especially with the higher price point, because you need some space. I would feel okay. Andrade, like, a lot of people aren't in a position where they could be at two places at once. Fans and stuff. So, are you gonna spend $20 a month for DAZN for the Andrade Zaleski fight if you plan on going to the Charlo fight? Maybe some people do, and try to watch it from the Charlo fight or whatever. I don't know, but I don't feel like a lot of people are gonna do all that. The Shy, I heard the dude got fired for sexual harassment or something. The only reason why I kept DAZN is because it's still $9.99. If it was $20 a month, I would drop it. Shit, it will be March of next year. It's gonna be $20 for you too. But they got to sort out the schedule, because having all these fights in conjunction with other fight weeks, I don't see how, unless your fight is bigger, I don't see how you're gonna win like that, being the new guy, the new company. They double their prices. They're going to go up again. Listen, I used to work at a credit card company. I'm going to break it down credit card way. And I'll just use real round numbers and break it down for you. Credit is almost set up for you to fail. Meaning, actually, just for the record, I worked at a credit card company, and a lot of the people who had that particular credit card were people who had decent to bad credit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a black card credit card call center, right? So people who were repairing their credit, maybe had a bankruptcy, bad credit score, stuff like that, foreclosures, shit like that. Credit oftentimes is not, it's for the most part, it's not set up for you to excel. You have to be responsible with credit. It's very easy to get caught up in the credit game and take a L. Trust me, I know from experience. The reason they get you is because, like, they give you a line of credit. The bottom line is this: people spend like they don't have to pay the money back. I'm going to try to simplify this. People spend like they don't have to pay the money back. You got to pay the money back plus interest and stuff like that. If you get behind, you end up getting fucked, because it's going to be harder and harder. You might have an over limit, late fees. Your annual fee might be due if you have an annual fee that you have to pay for, depending on if you're a variable APR or whatever, based on the prime, your shit could change. There's a lot that goes into it. So the skinny of it is this: if you get behind, it becomes harder and harder to dig yourself out of that hole. And then you look at, that's why cash is king, because let's say you bought a new computer that was $1,900. It's a gamer fucking laptop or some shit. Asus gamer laptop, $1,900. You got to pay that back plus interest, right? So if your APR is too high, it's going to take a while paying the minimum. If you just pay the minimum and you don't put nothing towards the principal and get that down, you'll be paying for a while if you have a high interest rate. Because a lot of the money you're paying your minimum is going to your interest, right? Same thing with DAZN. It's just simple business concepts. They're giving Canelo allegedly $365 million for 10 fights. If they fulfill that whole contract, that's a lot of money. But even in the meantime, if they're paying Canelo $37 million for the Danny Jacobs fight, how much of a profit do you have to make that justifiable? How many streams does he have to be pulling in to make that make sense? Because I can't imagine, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but I cannot imagine that in the streaming market, 600,000 streams in between $9.99 and $20 a month, I can't imagine that would have justified paying out almost $40 million to one fighter. Because you have to understand, $40 million almost just to Canelo, despite paying Jacobs a couple million at best. Whatever Golden Boy's getting, whatever you have to pay the venue, the lights, the promo behind it, the press tour, the different things that your camera crew, all that other shit that goes into making a production. It becomes costly. So it's just like I said, like the credit game. It's like paying your minimum due. It's going to take, you got to get caught up. And see, people are full of shit using a bunch of cliche bullshit. Don't talk to a real businessman and a person who knows how to crunch numbers and who has worked jobs his whole life and worked in different industries and had to go over vital statistics and fiscal year reports and shit like that. And don't come with me with no bullshit, because I'm not, I wasn't born last night. I know simple business concepts. Because business, the great thing about business and numbers is I really believe it's really the same. Like, no matter if you can sell, you can sell. That's how I feel. I'm on some Jordan Belfort shit. Wolf of Wall Street. I'm the Wolf of Wall Street now. I feel like if you could sell, you could sell. I've sold appliances, in essence, I sold credit services. I've sold electronics, hardware, toolbox. I've sold all types of shit. And I've always maintained great sales numbers for the industries that I was in. And it was always in the top echelon of salespeople at that given time. You get what I'm saying? So I understand business. I understand how numbers go. That's why it was easy for me to do this YouTube shit. Y'all let me enjoy life. This shit is easy compared to what I used to do. Because the industries I was in, it was like, we used to call it the Shark's Tank, before the show. The shit was cutthroat. Getting commissions in certain things. People would try to refund your sales and get your all types of bullshit. This shit easy work because I could control my own destiny. Easy work. So if you know anything about simple business, you have to understand that in some of the moves too, DAZN, like liquidating or selling off assets, they're 8 months in, 7 months in, raising the price 100% double. Those aren't traditionally good signs. Like, if business was booming, you probably wouldn't have to do that before Canelo Jacobs, before Triple G fought, before Anthony Joshua fought in America. You would probably hold off. That is a statement in itself to me that DAZN decided to do something aggressive. And that's how it usually works. When you're failing, you have to get aggressive first. People think in the business world, you just start closing. That's not how it goes. People try different stuff. Like if you look at Montgomery Ward's or Mervin's, they don't just close. It's a business decision. Toys R Us, it's a business decision to close after you've tried different things and you still haven't been found to be profitable. You know, the cost of employment, or you see you're downtrending, because you know, who wants to keep dishing out, and all your statistics are tanking and trending down. So it's a decision to get out while you can, you know, instead of being on some Titanic shit like the bank, the band, and go out with the go down with the ship. The first rule of the sale is to make a friend. Eddie broke the first rule and lost the customer. That's actually a strong point, because I do think Eddie Hearn, he rubbed people the wrong way with his demeanor, the antics. See, and this is the thing, is he didn't respect the rules of the game. Me, no matter what industry I'm in, I always respect the rules of the game. Like when I go to Brooklyn, you know, I show respect to Brooklyn. I show respect to New Yorkers. I try to patronize local businesses, not just chains and shit. I like to go to, like, you know, whether I'm in the hood or what, I like to go, you know, I just like to go to the spots because I want to put some money back into the community. I always show respect. Eddie Hearn, he didn't show respect to the game. He came in with these wild stories about Wilder and, you know, rub people the wrong way, kind of pompous attitude, like, oh yeah, all the American promoters are going to be shaking in their boots, and, you know, not necessarily showing that humility. I think people kind of wanted it to fail, to be honest. So yeah, that wasn't a good look, because he was the front man for DAZN before DAZN acquired Canelo and Golden Boy and different shit like that. Another mistake is DAZN made a lot of this stuff was very publicized. I don't know how, I don't know why, but a lot of it publicized. You offer Klitschko fight deal, everybody knows all your numbers and shit. You offer, you know, Eddie Hearn, he likes the camera, so he reveals a lot. So he revealed that Joshua is not exclusive to DAZN and he could fight elsewhere. So what the fuck does Wilder look like signing to DAZN necessarily, unless he wants to, when Joshua ain't even signed to DAZN? Why Wilder got to sign to DAZN, but Joshua ain't signed to DAZN? Dillian White's on a case-by-case basis. Dillian White just fought Derek Chisora off DAZN on Showtime for the U.S. broadcaster. So why Wilder got to sign to him for 3 fights? But Dillian White can be on a case-by-case basis. Joshua could be on the case. This shit gets a bit messy, if you see. You know, so there's a couple mistakes. But another thing is just from a perspective of, I feel like DAZN, they want to be like hipsters and trendy and like cater to the urban market, but they're kind of going around it. It's like they're going about it in a weird way. Like, you know, in my opinion, like, you can put Joshua and Meek Mill don't even go together to me. You know what I'm saying? The way Joshua acts, he kind of has his nose in the air, you know? So him being with a street dude like Meek Mill seems kind of weird. It doesn't fit it doesn't feel like a winning formula. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to how Joshua talks and jokes and stuff, it doesn't really seem like Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it this way. If it weren't for business, do you picture Meek Mill and Joshua like being best chums? I can't picture it. So yeah, it just feels like they're trying to be too like trendy, and like it feels forced. He said they desperate. I don't know. But I do know they need to step up that promotion game. Like their fights is like to me that's not a good sign when Canelo, your biggest star, his fight does 600K in America. Like I keep saying this. This is the most simplest. If that is a strong number, then tell me how Canelo did more than that on a paid system. If 600K concurrent, which we know is probably less because some accounts probably ran more than one stream or gave their login credentials to somebody else, but whatever. Canelo has charged people 75, 85 bucks or whatever and done better numbers than that for fight. This wasn't a Canelo Fielding type fight. This was Jacobs. See, shout out to the red. Now we're getting somewhere. This is what I'm talking about. It said the zone needs to. They got me stuttering and shit. Damn. The zone. It said the zone needs to connect with the fans, not try to buy them. That's what I'm saying. It seems like they're trying to buy their way. Like you put Tracy Morgan. Like what is that doing? Like that. It doesn't really do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just weird. Like The Rock introduced for HBO. The Rock did Canelo versus Golovkin promo. He announced the fight. The Rock did. I don't know if you guys remember this. I do. And the shit still did worse than the first fight, slightly. You know, it sold less. So what is that Tracy Morgan going to do? If The Rock couldn't even, with his star power and his following, he couldn't advertise Canelo Golovkin rematch, which there was controversy in the first fight, and make it grow. What is Tracy Morgan finna do? That's what I'm saying. That's not the key. We'll see how it plays out. I'm about to get out of here. I'll be back with some more streams later. Holla at the boy.